All right, we all know that I love this M12 heated vest. It's the first piece of Milwaukee M12 gear that I ever bought. I use it all the time. It's my favorite tool to use in the garage when it's cold out. And I like the vest versus the jacket because you wear the vest a little bit closer to your body and you can wear a jacket over it and it really holds in the heat versus a jacket, half the heat is getting projected or radiated outwards, which you're losing all of that. But when you wear a jacket over the vest, you keep all that heat in. So one of the biggest complaints that most people have with the M12 jacket is this battery pack. So you can see it uses the M12 platform and it's this round cylindrical, which on the generation 1, which this is a Gen 1, it's still my favorite. It's a little dirty because I use it a lot. The pocket that you put the battery pack in is back here. So here's the wire and you plug it in and then you stick it in the back. There's a little Velcro thing where you can get it even further in your back. If you get in a car, that thing's between you and the car seat. So it's really uncomfortable. On a motorcycle, doesn't really matter. And when I'm working out in the garage in the yard, it hasn't really bothered me, but it can get in the way. So on the generation 2, which I also reviewed on this channel, they put in a pocket to bypass. So you could slide it from the back here to the front pocket. The material on the generation 2 Access, I think it's called the Access Milwaukee M12 heated vest, the material didn't feel quite as nice. So I ended up not upgrading. And really this cord is long enough where you could just stick it in your front pocket and zip it up. So it's not a huge deal. But they have come out with the 3rd generation of the Milwaukee heated vest, and it's called the Hexalon. And so what that does is it has different zones. It uses an app. You can actually connect your heated vest to your smartphone via the Milwaukee app. I don't know that I've ever needed to do that, but it allows you to control the different zones. On the heated vest, it doesn't really make that much difference because really there's only 2 zones. There's left front, right front, and then the back. On the jacket, there's, top and bottom and sleeves and all these different zones. And then the reason it's called the Hexalon is the heating element change. So these, you can actually feel the wires in and they kind of go up and down like that. So they snake around. On the Hexalon, it's a thinner metal and then it's shaped like a hexagon and it's like a mesh. I'll see if I can get one for the channel and we'll try it out. I don't know that there's going to be that much difference. I don't find it really necessary to connect my heated gear to a smartphone app. So I don't really know if it's worth an upgrade, but certainly changing the battery pack. So there's a new battery pack that goes along with the new Hexalon M12 vest. And so that's this one. So this is the new battery pack that you need to use on the Hexon. I keep calling it the Hexalon, but it's a Hexon. So in order to use the Hexon heated gear, you need this battery pack, which has 2 ports because the plug now plugs into both ports. So it's supposed to heat up a little bit faster. The Hexon technology heats up the vest a little bit faster. I've never had a problem getting this M12 vest to heat up fast enough. I always thought it was okay. And you can control it again with your mobile device. But this battery is also backward compatible, so you can use it with the older style M12 gear. And what's nice about it is that it's flat. So it's wide and flat. So when it sits on your back, it's flatter. You don't have that big bulge compared to this. So it's you can see it's a much lower profile. But this is $100. And what I don't like about it is once you ran out of battery, I mean, this is supposed to last a really long time. Let's see. Let me see if I can get the specifics on this battery pack. Yeah, so it's supposed to run 12 hours on low, 6 hours on medium, and then 3 hours on high, which is about the same as this. If you run out of batteries, so say you have it on high for 3 hours, on this, whenever I run out of batteries, I just take out the battery and I've got another M12 and I just swap it in and I keep going. But on this, I've got to take the battery pack out and then go recharge it and then put it back in, or I've got to buy 2 of these. And so at $100, carrying 2 of these is $200. That's a little expensive. So I started looking for different ways to hack the M12 vest to get better battery life and better comfort. Let me show you the options that I picked up. So first, before I do that, I also have this power topper. And Milwaukee came out with a newer version of this topper. So this one, you can see, only works with the heated gear. It's only got one port. So this is really just, it came with the vest. But then I bought this one because you can use this to charge an M12 battery and it's compatible with the heated gear. So you can use this with the heated gear. You can also power up your cell phone So you're kind of a walking heated power pack. And so I thought it was kind of useful. And then it shows you how much battery's left on this battery versus on this one. There's no indicator to show you how much juice is left in your battery. Milwaukee did come out with a new version of the M12 topper. So it uses USB-C instead of mini USB, or is that micro? I think it's mini USB and USB-A. It's a USB-C in and out. So that's a nice upgrade, I think, but it still doesn't get around the fact that you have this big bulge in the middle of your back. So let's look at some other options. Okay, one option is to get the M18 that is compatible with the M12 Heated Gear. And it's just this adapter that has a port on the side or back. Oh, it's back here, and allows you to use your M12 Heated Gear with a battery pack. So what I like about this is I can swap out the battery pack once this is used up. This is fully charged, but if I were to use it and it runs out of battery and I need another one, I can just slide another one in and keep going. Don't have to worry about recharging it and not having the heat on while it's being charged. But I will say it's kind of heavy. It's definitely lower profile. It's square versus round, but in terms of size, width, it's about the same. I'll take it out of the packaging here in a little bit and compare it. First off, it's just not the same, but it is flatter. It's not quite as thin as this battery pack, but you're looking at, this is $40. And then unless you already have some M18 batteries, you're looking at probably at least on sale, another $50 for, this is the smallest one they have, the 2.0. So that's already over $100 right there. So if you have the M18 batteries already, this might be a good option. But if you have to go out and buy this, I think that's a little expensive. It's even more expensive than getting the Hexon flat battery pack, but you have the option of being able to hot swap the batteries. That's the word I was looking for, hot swap. So this is hot swappable. This is hot swappable. The M12 top up. This is not hot swappable. All right, so let's look at a couple other options that I was able to find to hack this M12 jacket. Okay, one of the other ones, I happen to have a wireless battery pack that is a MagSafe compatible. So it works on my Apple iPhone. So I can just slap this on the back of my iPhone and charge it. And it has a USB-C port. You can get this little adapter that will plug into the USB-C port. You can plug it into the USB-C port. And then this side plugs into your heated gear. And then you can use this battery pack to heat up the Milwaukee heated vest. And then also you can see the ring here, it's MagSafe. So you can power up your iPhone or any other MagSafe compatible cell phone. So that's a nice option. It's really small, even compared to Milwaukee flat battery pack, really small, very nice. So we'll test it and see how long it lasts. Gives you a nice battery indicator. So that's one option. And then I was reading the forums. There was one other option that somebody suggested, which was to use like an RC battery pack for RC cars that have a 12-volt dongle. The issue I had with that was that it kind of exposes the battery pack, doesn't have a case, and it didn't have a protection circuit board. So kept digging around on the forums, and I was able to find one from Talent Cell, and they make a battery pack that has a protection circuit in it, and they have two versions. This is the 3000 amp version, and there's a 6000 amp version. So let's take a look at these. It's got your charger here. And then it's a little box. So it's got a nice case, nice and flat. And then this side plugs directly into your heated vest and turn it on. I guess I need to charge it. So we'll have to charge it. It's also got a USB-A, so you could charge your cell phone on here, which is nice. And then it's actually got a splitter, so you could do multiple, I guess, charge up multiple devices. But I like the form factor. It's really small, compared to the Milwaukee. It's tiny, and it's also nice and flat, very low profile. So, and it's lightweight. I mean, it's really small. It's almost the same size as the MagSafe, a little bit larger, but you can't use this to MagSafe onto your phone, unfortunately. But then you also don't need the adapter. This plugs direct into the unit. So that's the 3000 amp version. They also make a bigger one, which is this 6 amp hour. And so this is much larger, maybe not that much larger, but it is bigger. But I got a feeling this thing will power your thing on all day. This is supposed to be 10,000 I think I've got the decimal place off. It's milliamps. So 10,000 milliamps, 6,000 milliamps, 3,000 milliamps. So quite a bit larger than the Milwaukee, but it's a lot cheaper too. So these are a lot less expensive, but it works with your M12 jacket. Powered on here. Why is it not powering on? There we go. So that's on high. So I'll do throughout the week here, I will try each one of these battery packs and just see how long they run compared to the quoted runtime on the Hexon power source. And even this big battery pack still fits. It's going to be a little bit heavier, but it still fits back in the pocket back here. And it's nice and flat, so you won't really feel it when you're driving around. So this is the biggest one. So even the big battery pack will fit in the back here. And I've got a feeling this is going to last you all day. So let's go ahead and start testing them out one by one and see how long each of these last.
All right, so we've got a fully charged M18 battery with the little top off adapter for the heated gear. So we're gonna try this out, see how long we can get this battery to last. It's got a little USB-A port so I could charge my phone with it. I wonder if I have to switch this over to on in order to get it to work. So let's try it out. All right, now we've got the little cell phone battery pack, battery bank, and we're going to plug it in and give it a try and see how long this battery lasts. All right, we're plugged in. If you could see it, I've got full bars, so it's fully charged, and it's pretty chilly out, so I've got it turned on, and we'll put it in. It's nice and small. You can barely feel that it's there. It's definitely the smallest battery pack. Let's see how long it lasts. All right, here we go. We got the last battery pack. You can see it's got a full charge. So let's see how long this battery lasts.
Okay, so I've been testing out these different battery packs on my Milwaukee Heated vest for about a week, just basically every day trying a different one. And what I usually do is I wake up pretty early in the mornings when it's really cold, and I'll just turn on the battery and see how long it lasts. Well, first of all, I didn't even try this one, the new Milwaukee flat pack. It's the most expensive out of this group. It's almost $100. And unless you have the Hexon gear, I really don't think it's necessary to get this. Yes, it's small and flat, but it's also really expensive. And, for this hack, I thought, well, why don't we see if we can save a little bit of money by trying something different. But, if you've got the Hexon gear and you want to use the app and you have gear that's multiple zones, maybe it's worth it, but I didn't think it was worth it for $100, especially since there's really only 2 zones on the heated vest. It's just front and back. So I didn't even open the box, but I did go ahead and try this battery pack or this M18 topper, which is $35 plus whatever it costs for the battery. I already had some M18 batteries. So really the cost to me was $35. So I used the smallest one at 2 amp, and this lasted about 5 hours. So when I turned it on, it was 7:30. And then by around lunchtime, basically stopped. So about 4.5 hours on sort of medium. When I turned it on high, it got really hot. So I kind of switched between hot and medium. So kind of mixed use. Didn't keep it on a single setting. So not super scientific, but more real world testing. So this wasn't bad, but it's not that thin. As you can see, it's actually quite thick and it's a little heavy. So I could definitely feel the weight of this sitting in my back, because this M18 vest is the first generation. It doesn't have the pass-through pocket, so it's sitting in my back pocket. And even though it's not cylindrical, you can definitely feel this when it's sitting in your back. So anyway, not that bad. If you have a bunch of M18 batteries already, this is not a bad add-on. Although it doesn't really last longer than the M12 top off. So I don't know, trading off convenience if you have M18 battery pack. Then I tried the smallest of the Talent cells. So this is the 3000 milliamp version, so 3 amp. And this one lasted about the same time. So I turned it on in the morning at about 7:30 and went to about noon as well. So 4.5 hours. Maybe 5 hours. So good option, real good option. Nice, small. I definitely could not feel this. For those of you who remember pagers, that's not that much bigger than the size of a pager. I think it's even smaller than my cell phone. So this was a nice option. Then what was really surprising was when I used this one, which was the mag compatible power bank that you stick on the back for like an iPhone. And now this one, you need an adapter. So it takes this USB-C adapter to go from this round plug that's on your heated gear to this USB-C adapter. And again, it only works with power banks that have sort of a fast discharge. And so you need to read the description to make sure it's a fast discharge. This one from ESR is a fast discharge. It does work, but it seems to have sort of a power cutoff. So every hour, maybe every 2 hours, it would automatically turn off and I'd have to turn my heated vest back on. So I'd have to press it and turn it back on. And the other thing I noticed is that when I used medium heat, it didn't seem like it was heating up that much. So I had to keep it on high, and that felt like a medium when I was using like the M18 battery. When I put it on high, it was almost hot, like too hot. So I'd put it back on medium. But with the power bank, unless I was on the highest setting, it didn't feel like it was all that warm. So it does kind of work. And this battery lasted all day. So this is a 10 amp battery, 10,000 milliamp. So it was on all day. I was able to wear it from 7 a.m. almost to 4 or 5 p.m. In the afternoon. And that's when it finally shut off. I actually just took the vest off because it was getting so warm in the day, and I just left it sitting on the counter with it on, and around 5 o'clock was when it shut off. So that was quite surprising. But again, you have to keep it on high, and then every couple hours it would shut off, and then I have to turn it back on, and then it would go on for another couple hours, notice that the light went off, and have to turn it back on. That's that version. And then this was not surprising. This one lasted the longest, also went all day. So again, 7 a.m. almost to 6 p.m. And this was, again, able to keep it hot in the highest mode. So I was switching back and forth. It was rather cold that day, actually. And so I went back and forth between the highest setting and the medium setting. And that was able to last all day. And I thought this might be really uncomfortable because it's so big, but because it's so thin and flat, I could sit in my car and it kind of adjusted a little bit, and you don't feel all that much, but it's quite a bit bigger. I think it's the biggest one of all the packs, but again, it didn't feel big when you were using it. In terms of which one I'll keep, I think it's going to come down to, if you don't already have M18 batteries, then it's down to sort of these three. I already had one of these power packs for my phone, so all I needed to do was buy this adapter. And the adapter was $13, and then this power bank, if you didn't already have it, I just went online to go look, it's $46. So all in on this one, you're looking at $60. So the Talent Cell, the small one, is $24. So really nice. And then the big one is only $33. So in terms of bang for your buck, this $33 is great. It's got an overcharge and a discharge protector, so it doesn't drain the battery all the way down. And then it plugs in directly to your heated gear. And then you can also power up a cell phone as well. This power bank, unless you keep your cell phone attached to it and in your pocket, you can't really do dual charging because you're using up the one port to charge your heated gear. But it is the smallest footprint. I could hardly tell it was there. I mean, I think my wallet's thicker than this, so that's great. But I think one of the Talent Cells, bang for your buck, this is definitely the way to go. I picked up this Hart heated gear, and it came with a battery pack and an adapter, which is very similar to the M18 adapter. It's almost the same width as them together. And this actually fits my heated gear on the Milwaukee. So I think this plug here is fairly universal. So if we plug it in, you'll notice the battery pops up, and then let's turn it on. And there you go. And so I can power it on using the Hart heated gear. So if you have some Hart equipment, or you can run your Milwaukee heated gear if you've got some Hart, which comes from Walmart. These batteries might be a little bit cheaper than your Milwaukee batteries. So you could use that to hack your Milwaukee heated gear as well. Okay, I was just curious how they compare in terms of thickness. So here you're looking at about, at its widest point, almost 50 millimeters. Let's change that to inches. It's 1.9 inches, almost 2 inches. That's what you're looking at sitting behind you. And then compare that to, the M18 is even wider, almost 2.5 inches, or 2.5 inches, 60 millimeters. So that's pretty thick. Then you've got the Talent Cell, very small, only 24 millimeters, less than an inch thick. I think this one's a little thicker. Yeah, this one's about just over an inch, 28 millimeters, 27 millimeters. Power bank's probably the smallest, 20 millimeters, which is 0.7 inches, 0.8 inches. It's really small. And then the Hart, let's see how big the Hart one is. Hart's 2.2 inches. So not super small, 57 millimeters. So again, I think one of these talent cells is going to be your winner. Let me get the weight on it as well. Okay, so let's get some weights. We'll start with this one. Was that 12 ounces? So not too bad, 12.5 ounces. Okay, and the M12, 9.8 ounces. And the M18, about a pound and 2 ounces, quite heavy. All right, then we have our power bank. Let's see how big the power bank is. Power bank's pretty light, 7 ounces. We've got the 2 talent cell versions. So let's try with the smaller one, 7 ounces, pretty light. And then we'll try the heavier one. And here's the bigger talent cell, almost a pound, 13.8 ounces. So not super heavy. This one from Hart is a 1.5 amp battery. Let's see how heavy that is. Almost a pound. 15 ounces. So that's kind of the comparison. And I think the talent cell, which you use in like RC cars, that's where I found it, is probably your best bet. Got a nice case versus an exposed battery pack like the hack I originally saw. And it's got an on-off switch. It's fairly lightweight and it's really inexpensive. So you can power this all day versus it would take you like maybe 2 or 3 battery pack on an M12 in order to do it. Or you could use huge battery on your M18, but it'd be really, really uncomfortable. The only downside I see to this is that you can't hot swap it. But again, it lasts pretty much all day from morning till evening. So kind of in the midday, if you're not using it, you can turn it off and you've got plenty of juice to keep using it all night long and then just recharge it overnight. So you can't hot swap it like the toppers, where you can just put in another battery after this one is used up. Same here. You can swap out the battery, put in another battery, but for 8 hours, 9 hours, I mean, I don't know that you're going to need to swap them over that often. So anyway, I'll put links to all of the items in the description below, and you can go check them out for yourself. If you're enjoying these videos, please consider subscribing to the channel and to the newsletter using the links below. We'll share more tool buying tips, classic car and classic motorcycle project finds, some motorsport news, and maybe a wrenching tip or two.